The alarm blared at 6 a.m. Jack slammed his hand down and rolled over. Another day to survive, another day to endure. What a miserable life, he muttered, staring at the peeling ceiling of his small apartment in downtown Chicago. 3 months ago, Jack had been fired from the tech startup where he'd worked for 2 years. Budget cuts, they said. Nothing personal. But for Jack, it felt deeply personal. His entire life plan had crumbled in an instant. His girlfriend left 2 weeks later. "I need someone more stable," were her final words. Jack dragged himself to the bathroom. The mirror reflected deep dark circles and an unshaven face. At 25, he felt like he was carrying the weight of the world. The coffee was cold. The bread, stale. "Of course," he grumbled. "Why would anything be different?" On the street, the bus pulled away just as he reached the stop. Rain started to fall, and Jack had no umbrella. Seriously, universe? Really? Soaked, Jack walked to the next bus stop. His thoughts were a storm of complaints. Why do these things always happen to me? What did I do to deserve such bad luck? It's like the world is conspiring against me. Jack boarded the crowded bus, water dripping from his clothes. An elderly woman looked at him with sympathy, offering a tissue. "Thanks, but that won't solve anything," he said, trying not to sound harsh. In the city center, Jack entered another company to drop off his resume. It was the 15th that month. The responses were always the same. "We'll be in touch." But the phone never rang. At the cafe where he stopped to dry off, the waiter spilled coffee on his shirt. The manager apologized and offered another coffee, but Jack was boiling with frustration. "Just another disaster to add to my life's list," he bitterly responded. Walking down Michigan Avenue, Jack watched executives in suits and expensive store windows. "Everyone seems to have their life figured out," he thought. "What did I do wrong?" The base afternoon advanced, and Jack decided to sit on a bench in Millennium Park. The imposing skyline seemed to mock his unanswered prayers. Lost in his cycle of self-pity, Jack barely noticed when a white-haired man sat beside him. The man had deep wrinkles but surprisingly bright and clear eyes. "Tough day?" the man said, looking at the clearing sky. Jack shrugged. He wasn't in the mood for small talk. "You know," the man continued, ignoring Jack's disinterest, "when I was your age, I thought the world had a personal vendetta against me." Jack looked at the man, surprised by the coincidence. "Life had a way of knocking me down every time I tried to get up," the old man continued. "At least that's what I thought." "What changed?" Jack asked, now genuinely curious. The man smiled, revealing teeth worn by time. "I learned that everything happening was not happening to me but for me." Jack frowned. "That sounds like another self-help cliché." The old man laughed heartily. "I used to think the same thing, until a distant thunder interrupted. The rain would return soon. "My name is William," said the man, extending his hand, "and you look like you could use a hot coffee and a story." Jack hesitated. What did he have to lose, Jack? He responded, shaking the wrinkled hand. "And I guess I'll take that coffee." Standing up from the bench, Jack had no idea that this simple decision would completely change the course of his life. In a cozy cafe near Millennium Park, William ordered 2 hot coffees. Jack watched the elderly man with a mix of skepticism and hope. "Have you ever considered that your job losses might actually be protection?" William began. Jack's eyes widened, ready to argue. William continued. "In 1985, I lost what I thought was the best job of my life. I thought it was the end. But that dismissal led me to an incredible opportunity years later." Each word seemed to chip away at Jack's walls of frustration. "But what was about to come would change everything. What if I told you that what you consider a failure is actually your greatest gift?" William said, creating a dramatic pause. A yellow envelope slipped from Jack's portfolio, revealing something that would completely shift his perspective about everything. The envelope caught a ray of sunlight, almost as if it were illuminating a secret message waiting to be discovered. Jack's fingers trembled as he reached for the unexpected document. William watched with a knowing smile, as if this moment had been precisely choreographed by an unseen hand. What mysterious revelation was hidden inside that envelope that could potentially transform Jack's entire life trajectory? The anticipation built with each passing second. As Jack's fingers touched the envelope, a strange energy seemed to pulse through the cafe. The letterhead revealed an unexpected sender, a technology innovation center specializing in social impact projects. William leaned forward, his eyes twinkling with excitement. The letter detailed a unique opportunity, a startup competition for technological solutions addressing urban unemployment. The grand prize, full funding and mentorship for the most innovative project. Sometimes the universe whispers before it shouts, William murmured. Jack read the details, his hands shaking. The competition's deadline was exactly 3 days away, a time frame that seemed impossible yet perfectly timed. A QR code on the bottom of the page caught his attention. When scanned, it revealed a series of cryptic coordinates and a partial message. Your solution lies where Fakapaki meets Kakapoi. The incomplete message created an immediate intrigue. What could be hidden in those blank spaces? William watched Jack's expression change from confusion to curiosity. Some mysteries are solved not by understanding every detail, the old man said, but by having the courage to take the first step. Jack's mind raced. The coordinates seemed to point to a specific location in Chicago, but what would he find there? Notification pinged on his phone. An unknown number was trying to contact him. To answer or not to answer? That decision could change everything. What secret message awaited Jack on the other end of that mysterious call? The phone vibrated with an intensity that seemed to match Jack's racing heartbeat. An unknown number flickered on the screen. Answer it, William whispered, his eyes locked on Jack. Jack's finger hovered over the green button. One touch could alter everything. Hello? He said tentatively. Jack Silver, a confident female voice responded. I'm Elena Rodriguez from TechSolve Innovation Center. Her words seemed to hang in the air, charged with potential. We received your preliminary application for the Urban Innovation Challenge. Your project concept, though incomplete, has caught our attention. Jack froze. He hadn't submitted any project, at least not intentionally. There's something unique about your file, Elena continued. A proposal so raw, so genuine, it could revolutionize how we approach urban unemployment. William watched, a knowing smile playing on his lips. Elena dropped a bombshell. We want you to present your concept in 3 days. At our headquarters, the coordinates from the mysterious QR code suddenly made perfect sense. This was no coincidence. A digital invitation pinged on Jack's email. But one detail made his breath catch. The project seemed designed specifically for someone who had experienced exactly what Jack had lived. Job loss, urban struggle, technological exclusion. How is this possible? Jack whispered to William. The old man simply winked. Some doors open when you stop trying to force them. But a critical question remained. What would Jack discover when he followed those coordinates? Something extraordinary was waiting. Something that could change not just his life, but potentially hundreds of others. The coordinates led Jack to an abandoned warehouse near Chicago's industrial district. William's words echoed in his mind. Some mysteries are solved by the courage to take the first step. Inside, a single spotlight illuminated a desk with a laptop and a folder marked with Jack's name. As he approached, the laptop automatically blinked. A video began to play, showing montages of urban youth, technological challenges, and moments of transformation. The video revealed the true purpose of the project, a technology platform designed to help unemployed young professionals rebuild their careers using artificial intelligence and personalized mentoring. Jack's journey had become the blueprint for a solution that could help thousands of people. Elena's voice narrated the final moments. Sometimes, our greatest failures are actually our most powerful design tools. The screen went blank, leaving a single message flashing. Are you ready to turn limitations into opportunities? A timer appeared. 5 minutes to make a decision that could change everything. The screen pulsed with an invitation that seemed to speak directly to Jack's soul. Jack looked at the clock. Only 3 minutes remained to make his decision. Every second seemed to expand infinitely. William smiled with serenity. At life's great crossroads, the decision rarely resides in the mind. It's in the heart. With a deep breath, Jack pressed The confirmation button. The screen flashed, transforming into a detailed map with coordinates to the TechSolve Innovation Center. Tomorrow at 9 a.m., the digital system announced, your journey begins. 3 months later, Jack stood before an audience of investors. His project to provide technological training for unemployed urban youth had grown beyond his expectations. The system he created, inspired by his own experience of failure and new beginnings, had already impacted more than 200 young people in similar situations. When the last slide of his presentation shone on the big screen, a familiar figure smiled discreetly at the back of the auditorium. William waved subtly. That evening, after the extraordinary success of the presentation, Jack met William again at the same park bench where everything began. How did you know? Jack asked. William smiled. I didn't know. I simply believed. And that's the greatest lesson. The universe isn't against you. It's waiting for you to believe it's working in your favor. Jack looked at the starry sky, finally understanding that every closed door in his life had actually been a redirection to the path he was meant to follow. Our greatest limitation, William whispered, is believing that things happen to hurt us when in reality they happen to transform us. And so, under the same sky that once witnessed his despair, Jack finally understood. Everything, absolutely everything, happens for us, never to us. The difference lies solely in how we choose to see it.